Alright, here's some cool little news. But before I get into that, I guess I'll give a little channel update, as currently I have some bizarre sore throat condition suddenly. And I say it's bizarre because it feels more like someone hit me in the neck with a hammer than it does the usual, a sore throat. Maybe not have as many videos coming this week, and the Nailsin Show might end up being a like a best of type thing, because I won't be able, I don't think, to be able to record further chapters of Bear and Void for that as it's currently going. But anyway, so we'll see how that works out. So anyway, here's this story. This has been constant rumors, and we know something of multiverse shenanigans will be happening thanks to WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man 3. And whether or not Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will reprise the roles, it goes back and forth. Where it's like, oh yeah, they're definitely in, and then maybe not. Jamie Foxx was supposed to come back as Electro, and now he's kind of backed off on it. I don't know. But now the latest here, and this is one of the best ones, of bringing Charlie Cox back as Daredevil and having him be Peter Parker's lawyer in this story, where this case he has at the end of the last Spider-Man movie, where the J. Jonah Jameson teaser reveals that his secret identity was revealed and all this stuff, and he's accused of murdering Mysterio. So there was talk of She-Hulk being the lawyer, and Jen Walters is of course an attorney, and that's kind of the beginning of the story with her cousin, Bruce Banner, seeks her out for some kind of legal help, and then as a result, not as a result of that, it turns out she was involved in some case that involved the mob or something like that, and they put a hit out on her, and in order to save her life, Bruce Banner is forced to give her a blood transfusion. And as a result, she develops her She-Hulk powers, and that was the story. So she is the other more famous lawyer within the Marvel Universe, so it could fit that a Jen Walters could represent Peter Parker. But he in his circles and the street crime stuff that Spider-Man deals with is very similar to Daredevil, and they've had more run-ins in the comics than he's had with She-Hulk. So it still could be both, where Jen Walters, just as Jennifer Walters appears, and actually because she's practicing law and whatnot, she's acquainted with Matt Murdock, and they could do something like that, as they're developing her TV series. And so whoever they cast as Jen Walters, there's been names tossed out, but apparently none of them are true. But however they deal with that, then that would be the case, and that could work too. But this is really good stuff, if true. Now, this is Grace Randolph, and so a lot of times her sources are pretty good. Well, certainly with Snyder Cut and all that stuff, because she actually got to have an interview with Zack Snyder himself. So I'm guessing this has some truth to it, and I certainly hope so, because I think that would be a great thing to continue that, because that was the best of any of the Marvel TV series. Was the Daredevil show, and Charlie Cox did an excellent job playing that character, and so it just stands to reason you continue on from that. It just makes it a lot easier, I think, and work him in with Spider-Man, because they kind of exist in the same world in a lot of ways. Well, obviously they exist in the same world with the Marvel Universe and everything, but I mean, they come up against the same problems, and ultimately both have a serious enemy in the form of Kingpin, and having and bringing back that cast from Daredevil with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, possibly taking on Spider-Man. So depending on how far they go with this and how long that'll go, it'll be interesting to see it play out. But of course there's delays and everything because of what, but if they can get that off the ground, that would be very, and even if it is something for D plus and stuff like that, it's like I'm saying, going forward, we don't know what the theater market is going to be like, so maybe you can get even more details if you make it and follow the Snyder Cut model of a miniseries, but with movie budget, special effects, and all that sort of stuff, and put that on D+. So it's good news in a lot of ways, certainly concerning Daredevil. So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing is now there's talk of having Green Goblin come back. Well, I've loved the Green Goblin story within Spider-Man, and I really liked the Hobgoblin story in the 80s. That's when I really became a big comic book fan, a teenager in the 80s. And all that stuff. I don't think there's any way they're going to recapture that. It didn't end well, but it was really cool for a while. Willem Dafoe was okay. Acting-wise, I did not like his costume. It just, boy, he'd be fine for Power Rangers. And they had this other mask that was really cool looking, but apparently he didn't want to deal with it. And it was one of these animatronic things and all that. But boy, it really looked cool, and it's too bad it didn't happen. The rumor has it there's talks with him, and then Grace Randolph is talking about that. And somebody asked him, what is this, King of the Munsters? Asked him, what are the chances of Willem Dafoe coming back? He said, I heard they're working on getting a Goblin. Talking to more than one. I don't know which ones, though. Well, there's really only two. There's Willem Dafoe, which is the better of the two, and Dane DeHaan. Now, Dane DeHaan, his performance in Amazing was not too terribly bad as kind of the lost, miserable Harry Osborn in that version, but his Goblin was terrible, and it was all kind of just slapped in there. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was an awful movie. Even though they got the costume right. They did do that. But yeah, not crazy, because then it's the Harry Osborn version. They never even did. Norman Osborn had already died of cancer or something. I can't remember what the story was. Or maybe he hadn't. I don't know what they were building up. They were going to do this spin-off film with the Sinister Six and all that stuff. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I guess, yeah, they would bring him in to be a Goblin, but this would deal with ideas of Tobey Maguire, not Tobey Maguire, Holland, the new Spider-Man, going in and meeting these other versions of them, and so it's very much like Flashpoint, what they're doing, that DC's doing with the Flash, and yeah, I don't know. I'd rather they develop a new Goblin and have a Norman Osborn set up. But they've messed up Spider-Man in the MCU so much as it is. Don't really care. So, as much as I like the Green Goblin stories in the comics and whatnot, I'm not optimistic about what they'll do with this. And it's probably just going to be some cameo in Spider-Man 3 and stuff like that. And yeah, whatever. But the real good news is Daredevil. And it would really be cool if they follow through with that between Spider-Man and Daredevil. That would be a great thing, yeah, if they can pull it off. Which, it could go very bad. But maybe we'll get another Daredevil series out of all of this, and then it was all worth it. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.